Truth be told, I never graduated from college, and this is the closest I've ever gotten to a college graduation.
Hi, I'm Dr. David Cosgrave, and welcome to the Exam Performance Institute. Our mission is to change the way that students take exams forever. Welcome to the first video in our Leader series. In this series, we will take 10 lessons from leaders in various areas such as sports, politics, arts, and business. And we'll use those lessons to help us improve our overall studying and exam performance. In the first video in the series, we will look at one of the most influential entrepreneurs of all time. He's the co-founder of Apple, a man who revolutionized multiple industries throughout his career. He's the late great Steve Jobs, and here's my take on 10 lessons we can learn from him to improve our exam performance. Number 1, clear vision.
There needs to be someone who is sort of the keeper and reiterator of the vision. Because there's just a ton of work to do. And a lot of times, when you have to walk 1,000 miles and you take the first step, it looks like a long ways. And it really helps if there's someone there saying, well, we're one step closer. The goal definitely exists. It's not just a mirage out there. So in 1,001 little and sometimes larger ways, the vision needs to be reiterated. I do that a lot.
What do you want to achieve beyond your exams? What is your overall aim or objective? What is it you want to be after you finish the exams? High-performing students have a vision. They have a vision for what they want to become or what they want to achieve. And this helps motivate them throughout the exam process. Students who struggle with motivation tend to see the exams as the end point in themselves. They don't have a purpose or reason for studying. It's very hard to motivate yourself to study when you don't have a clear reason for why you're studying in the first place. High-performance students have a vision and they see the exams as a stepping stone towards the achievement of this vision. So what do you want to achieve beyond your exams? What is it that you want to be? Some people think of this in terms of a career path. What is it that you want to achieve? This is going to be your reason, your purpose, or your why. This is going to motivate you to take action throughout the exam process. Lesson 2, passion.
I'm wondering what would be the single most valuable piece of advice you'd give us to even attempt to create some of the value that you guys have done in both your very impressive companies.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it and you don't really love it, you're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that ended up being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society and the ones that didn't, oftentimes it's the ones that are successful loved what they did so they could persevere when it got really tough. And the ones that didn't love it quit.
As Steve points out, one of the keys to being successful in business is having a passion for the area that you're in. It's very similar when it comes to your exams. Now, I'm not talking about passion for the exams themselves. That would be ridiculous. I haven't met a single student that is passionate about exams. Even though I'm the director of the Exam Performance Institute, I'm not passionate about exams. I'm passionate about changing the way that students take exams. There's a difference. But what do you need to be passionate about? You need to be passionate about the vision that you have, what you're going to achieve after the exam, the reason that you're studying for. It's inevitable that students will become demotivated during the exam process. Even the most high-performance students will lose motivation from time to time. But the difference is they're able to push through, and they're able to push through and continue to work because they have passion for the area, subject, or career that they're working towards. And that will motivate them to success. Lesson 3, work ethic.
I'm working pretty hard, and so are a lot of people, but I'm one of them. My car's there pretty early, and it's in the parking lot pretty late, and on weekends. So, and I value my family time a lot, so I'm pretty committed to this, and seeing Apple turn around. The company, I started the company with Steve Wozniak in my parents' garage, 20 years ago. and over 22 years ago. And so there's a definite place in my heart for this. I'm drawing a salary of, I think, $1 per year. So I hope I'm not burdening the shareholders too much. And I very much want to see Apple get turned around, and I think it's gonna. So I don't know how much more committed I could be if people need these symbols. Well, maybe that'll happen. I don't know, but you know, my answer to them is I don't know how I could be working any harder. And
one of the consistent features of this series is work ethic. Every leader who will feature in this series is known for their insane work ethic. Your work ethic is within your control. It's one of the things that you can control. Hard work forever pays. Hard work with specific focus is even more dangerous when it comes to your exam success. So are you willing to put in the work to achieve the grades you want? You saw in the video clip, Steve Jobs, working as the CEO of Apple, was taking a salary of $1. Are you willing to work hard to achieve the results that you want? Lesson 4, customer focus.
You've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology. You can't start with the technology and try to figure out where you're going to try to sell it. And I've made this mistake probably more than anybody else in this room. And I've got the scar tissue to prove it. And I know that it's the case. And as we have tried to come up with a strategy and a vision for Apple, it started with what incredible benefits can we give to the customer? Where can we take the customer?
How many students consider the examiner's perspective when writing their exam? The answer is very few, and that's what I mean by customer focus. You need to think of the examiner's perspective when you're completing your exam. How easy is it for them to correct your exam and understand exactly where you've collected all of the marks? If you make an exam paper difficult to correct from an examiner's perspective, you are putting yourself on the back foot straight away. You're putting them in a bad mood, and you never want an examiner to be in a bad mood. Remember, examiners are only human. When it comes to exam corrections, we usually have a lot of exams to correct. It's a difficult and stressful time of year with tight deadlines. We want to get exam papers corrected quickly and as efficiently as possible. So when completing your exam paper, make sure to think of it from the examiner's perspective. Give them a reason to be pleased and in a good mood when they're correcting your exam. Make it easy for them to understand exactly where you've collected all of your marks and that this is an easy paper to correct because you've done so well.
Lesson 5, innovation.
This is a day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years. Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. And Apple has been, well, first of all, one's very fortunate if you get to work on just one of these in your career. Apple's been very fortunate. It's been able to introduce a few of these into the world.
Most students study in exactly the same way. You try to memorize as much content as possible in the hopes that you'll be able to regurgitate that content on the day of the exam. Sometimes this works, but most of the time it's not the most effective system for consistent performance. Different students have different learning preferences and different learning abilities. Therefore, it's very, very important that you figure out the way that is most effective for you, and you study in a way that reflects your learning preference and your goal.
Lesson 6, simplify.
Yeah, you know, we try to hire really smart people, but we have a very simple organization, and we try to focus and do very few things well. And focusing's hard because focusing doesn't mean saying yes, it means saying no. So we decide not to do a lot of things so we can focus on a few handfuls of things and do them well.
When starting to study, some students get bogged down in the amount of information that they need to cover, when in reality, you should be trying to simplify your efforts when it comes to studying. Focus on completing one action at a time. Block out all unnecessary action and focus on completing that goal. That could be answering a past exam question or focusing on studying one particular topic. Too many students try to multitask when it comes to studying. Usually, in my experience, this is a very bad idea. Most students are not capable of multitasking when it comes to studying for your exams. Focus on one task, simplify your exam process, and get the grades that you want.
Lesson 7. Choosing your team.
The people that are really good want to work with the best people they can find. Hopefully people that are even better than them. You know, I mean, that's my view of things, is if you work with people that aren't as good as you, then you become a country of midgets. If you work with people that are better than you, then you really grow.
Many students decide to study in groups. I have a huge problem with this for most students because it's not actually helpful for most students' exam performance. And I'll speak about this in another video. However, if you decide to work in groups, then only work with people who have the same level of goals as you. Otherwise, if students have different goals or lower goals than yours, then they're piggybacking off your exam performance. Cut them loose, only study with people who have the same goals if you choose to study in a group. Remember, as Dan Pena says, eagles fly alone.
Lesson number 8. There will be ups and downs.
I was lucky. I found what I loved to do early in life. Woz and I started Apple in my parents' garage when I was 20. We worked hard, and in 10 years, Apple had grown from just the two of us in a garage into a $2 billion company with over 4,000 employees. We just released our finest creation, the Macintosh, a year earlier, and I just turned 30. And then I got fired.
Even one of the greatest entrepreneurs of all time was fired from his own company. This story clearly shows that there will be ups and downs along the way, and that is the same for your exam process and life in general. But the key thing is to keep moving forward. There will be bad days and good days. It's important to have your vision in mind. Keep moving forward towards your vision. Consistent effort on the steps towards your vision completion. Lesson 9. Getting results.
Somebody taught me a long time ago a very valuable lesson, which is if you do the right things on the top line, the bottom line will follow. And what they meant by that was if you get the right strategy, if you have the right people, and if you have the right culture at your company, you'll do the right products, you'll do the right marketing, you'll do the right things logistically and in manufacturing and in distribution. And if you do all those things right, the bottom line will follow.
One thing that Steve says here is absolutely crucial. Doing the right things on a consistent basis will drive your results. And that's what I tell all the students that I work with as part of the Exam Performance Institute. Process is the key to all high performance. This means that taking consistent actions will ultimately drive your grades. So taking action like going to class regularly, taking good notes, asking questions, completing regular study, even if it's only in small amounts, but it's focused on completing a goal, such as answering a past exam question. These things over time will compound your effort and allow you to increase your grades.
Lesson 10. Using debt as a motivator.
When I was 17, I read a quote that went something like, "If you live each day as if it was your last, someday you'll most certainly be right." It made an impression on me, and since then, for the past 33 years, I have looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today?
The key lesson here is don't be afraid to chase your dream. Don't be afraid of failure. Too often, students get caught up in the exams themselves and are afraid of failing exams or afraid of the fallout from a bad set of exams. As I've mentioned already, the exams are not the end point. They're a stepping stone to the achievement of your vision. Do not be afraid to take action towards your vision on your journey to success. One exam or one set of exams will not define you. They are not the end. If you are motivated enough to achieve something, then one set of exams is not going to define your success. As Steve said in the opening scene of this particular video, he himself was a college dropout. So do not be afraid to chase your dream. If you enjoyed the lessons in this video, then please hit the like button and subscribe for future videos in this series. If you're struggling with exams this year, then go to examperformanceinstitute.com. Link is in the description. There you'll find the exam performance system, a step-by-step system that will help you increase your grades in any exam you take. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.